Can I know like the most? Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Christopher.
I'm not shaking your hand. What's my most traumatic experience? I don't know, but I know what yours is. Suck my dick.
A ver, ya, prende.
Yo, look at
Prende, ¿por qué eres así?
What happened, mamita?
No, just $20.
20 bucks?
For this video that we just shot.
Okay, no, for sure. I'll have my cousin cash out
No,
here.
right now.
How's it
He
going?
needs to pay me $20 for the video that he just took. We'll totally take you right now.
No, I'll pay. I'm down to pay. We're good to pay. Can you not, like, touch my cameraman? No, I'd appreciate that.
Who the does he think he is?
I think he's
you piece of
What?
Who do you think you are?
Huh?
Is that a good thing what he did or a bad thing?
No, that's a good thing.
Take it back. Take backsies, Rainbow.
I hope your left leg and your right leg switch. I hope soon as you get up out the shower, your whole body itch. I hope your top lip grow bigger than the bottom. I hope you run out of gas and when you walk to get some gas, they ain't got it. I hope your shoes shrink as soon as you buy them. I hope all of your friends throw a party and your ass don't get invited. I hope you accidentally piss off Mike Tyson. I hope you piss him off so fucking bad, all he think about is fighting. I hope you wake up on a deserted island. I hope ain't nothing wrong with your baby, but your baby keep on crying. I hope money call, but your phone on silent. I hope you drive all the way to work just for them to tell you that you fired. I hope you get heartburn with every blink. I hope you combing your hair in the mirror and it fall out in the sink. I hope the worst. I hope a cluck steal all your clothes. I hope you ain't got no grill, but every last one of your teeth is gold. I hope you wake up and you 80 years old. I hope you get horny and when you open that little drawer, your whole vibrator explodes. Stupid bitch.
Being a young black female and also a teen mother, what do you guys do to give back to the community? Also directed mostly towards ODB. I know Praz and the Fugees do things for the community, but what is going to be your thing for the community?
Nothing. I'm curious about your skill. This. Indeed. So concludes the appetizer. This.
AI is going to take our jobs. Yeah. I'd like to see AI go out drinking till 4 a.m. on a weekday and still make it to work on time the next morning.
Fucking nigga, used to fall with Gucci till I seen it like a pussy nigga. Mama know I'm ruthless, talking stupid, made me boss a nigga. They know I'm a house arrest, so they feel like they a bitch. I kill you, then I tell you where's a gun.
Hey, would it be weird if I asked you out?
No, it wouldn't be.
All right, well, we are closing, so if you would please.
Found money. You gave him some. You gave him some of that dyke coochie. Yeah, you gave him.
Let me ask you this, Daddy. If he give you some money, would you give him some of this straight booty?
Huh?
Would you give him some of this?
I almost knocked you on your ass then, okay? Okay, so don't come in, don't get it twisted, because I'll knock you on your ass on my show. Okay, I'll knock you on your ass. Okay, don't come and play with me, because I'm the wrong one for your dyke ass to be playing with. You understand? I'm the wrong one for your ass to be playing with. I'll knock you on your ass on live TV. You understand me? Keep it straight. You understand me? Don't get it twisted. Okay? So don't get it twisted. Don't bring your dyke ass up in here with that bullshit, because I'll knock your goddamn ass off right here on TV. Okay? Bye.
Alright, y'all.
Yeah, you sure will. Get your dyke ass up out of my...
How much would it be to jerk me off twice?
What?
How much would it be for a milkshake and fries?
How much would it be for a milkshake and fries? Give me $1.
I'm declaring war on fat gay kids. Not the kids themselves, but on whatever's making them so fat, gay, and pathetic. I'm talking seed oils, SSRIs, MSNBC, and perverts masquerading as teachers and guidance counselors. Sorry, but as an educator, you can't show off your extensive collection of marital aids anymore, okay? America isn't a dance school, a video game competition, or an OnlyFans academy. It's a country. And with the help of President Trump, we'll be focusing on eliminating the things in our society that are turning our kids into effeminate weirdos and skanks.
Ooh, you make it clap? Let me chill.
He's tweaking.
I'm tweaking. How?
You tweaking.
You fine as hell. You don't fuck with me.
I ain't even gonna lie. You look like you can pick me up. I've been staring at you. You look real strong.
I ain't that strong.
I mean, would you try? Huh? Would you?
YBG Don from DC.
What's your name?
YBG Don.
I'm not calling you YBG. What the f is your name?
It stands for something. Young, black, and gifted. YBG Don. That's what I stand for, Queen.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Can I ask, like, respectfully, like, is that real?
No.
All right, no.
Damn!
It's not you.
Actually, like, really cool though.
It's not you. It's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't handle that. Like.
Okay. I get it. It's okay.
Yeah. Damn, Shawty's got a melody.
Maybe there's gang activity here. That's crazy.
Ever seen 100 dudes run at you? That's not a fight. That's a stampede.
So you backing out?
No. I ain't backing out. I'm just saying that we got to rethink the rules. Listen, man, I be minding my business. I be chilling, eating my little kale and shit. And this kid bangs on that glass and yells, "Do the monkey noise." And I'm like, watch out, Lil man.
You know, for a 400-pound gorilla, you are a big wuss. Grow some balls.
All right, glow stick. Shit ain't sweet around here. Keep talking spicy, and I'm gonna slap the shine off your face and send your ass back to Area 51.
I'm not saying I can't do it. I'm saying maybe we lower it to like 37 max, spread out with snacks in between.
Mm-hmm. Don't y'all get mad when they throw a peeled banana at you? Like, bruh, I can peel my own shit.
Like, I might throw shit at you, but I like my banana clean, respectfully.
Yeah, I know you like that banana in your mouth, all peeled and soft, like you didn't just throw poop at a zookeeper 5 minutes ago.
Bruh, quit with that Diddy shit, bro. I know we swing, but we don't swing that way, you Skittle-fueled space little. They feeding y'all bananas? I only eat gourmet, lil bro. Imported figs, microgreens, Whole Foods on delivery. Shut your Joe Martin looking ass up, man, before I come over there. Y'all sitting here talking about bananas like this ain't deeper than potassium. My boy Harambe got clapped and nobody spun the block?
Yeah.
Oh, nah, fam. I'm loading up the zoo cart. We riding at dawn.
You're cuter than a little gummy bear and you're lovely little lotus flower. And you look like the girl from Wednesday. Yeah, you do.
It's Saturday, man.
No, Jenna Ortega.
How many sides are on a triangle?
Oh, man, you just... 5.
It's 3. But yeah, close enough.
What about the bottom?
Oh, true. I forgot about that. So you went to college?
Yes, sir. I went here in Jackson, then I went to Harvard. I'm LLC Incorporation. I am one of the last founders. I'm in with the law enforcement. We're police officers dressed up as homeless people and living out here on the streets. We're trying to come forward and say that homelessness is against the law.
You're an undercover cop?
Yes, sir. I sure am. Most likely, I just painted a target on myself.
Did you happen to be mayor?
We back, baby.
Season 6, Amped Official.
Come on, you already know what time it is, dog. You know we had to do this, man.
Hey, all the time, man. Let's go.
You got to start it off, though.
Nah, you starting this one off.
You want me to start it off?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I started off. I'm still in the field. A lot of my peers, they've been caught it off. Succumbing to fears is harder to win than living a loss. I know what it is. I once was a kid and then I got taught, yeah. And now we hot step across each obstacle they toss.
Yeah, I don't want a boss employing myself. I'm feeling like Ross. My feelings are throw, but harder to catch, cause nobody moss. I planted a seed and watching my feed like Kevin Durant. It's hard to compete, this garden is filled with industry plants.
Yeah, that don't bear no fruit for real. Sambo on that table, spend your life trying to recoup that meal. Shorty just a fable, now the young is out here shooting for real. And they ain't gon' intervene, you know they love a two for deal.
That coupe de ville sliding like it's slippery, ain't it crazy, dog? Disregard that 25 to life. Remember Ray and Claude, you know your freedom last thing on their mind when they be making laws. You gotta sell your soul to make it, excuse me, make the blogs. Fuck it.
It's compensation over validation. Trust it.
This younger nation dodging graduation. They bustin'.
Until we value life just like them pair of J's. Ayy.
They'll put you in that wood and not the Mary Jane.
Come on, dog.
Let's go, man. Season 6, Amped Official.
Plant-based dripping. You boy great, man. Make sure y'all hit me up 954-280-4080. That's my real number, man.
I'm so tired of the same old people acting like they love me, but their hearts are filled with evil. I know. I know.
Yep.
Say they may my ride or die, but they probably rather die than to stay by my side. Yeah,
I know.
These things I know.
Okay. Lately I've been chilling by myself a little, thinking if I face another L, it might help a little. It's a lot of shit came with success that they failed to mention, like when you get more money, life get more expensive. I never wanted to be famous, just the money that came with it, and to see my mama face when I tell her that I did it. But I've been feeling like Jaheim lately, trying to find my way back, and all they see is my blessings. They wondering why I say that, not for nothing. I've been hurting bad too. But I ain't never show emotion unless I had to. Never let them see you sweat, don't let them get the best of you. Well, if they can't get the best of me, then I guess the worst to do. So I deal with this loss and all this pain by my lonely, and revert back to the trenches and start acting like the old me, the one I thought I healed from. How I feel everything, but I'm still numb. All these feelings, I'm still just trying to feel something. Man.
Yeah. Hey, okay, I snatch a leaf and jack a beat and rack them fast, go back to back. Used to want them platinum plat shit, nowadays ain't that attached. Grew them wicks, I mad at flat, the H&K is mad at black. Shopify on Acrobats, I'm healthy, can't be mad at that.
It's PBD, IPOG, we break them goals like Shaq Attack. It's black on from my shoes and shirt and drawers, even my slacks and hat. Love that candy paint since I was a kid, ain't care about Cracker Jacks. Plus where I'm from, we jack them crackers, can't say where that happened.
Okay, they hate when we say crackers and my mama white, that pack a punch. Plenty times been called a nigga, ain't never been called a cracker once. Get on track, then act a dunce, I eat before and after lunch. Popping shit and action blunts, I pull off plays like action stunts.
I had a hunch, I'm trying to eat before I see 12 like we was having brunch. I'm trying to keep it all in line, but damn these tires swerving. Became a boss, no one to hire, guess I'll fire verses.
This higher learning, this that shit they can't recite in churches.
If so, that preacher might just switch up his entire sermon.
Call Pastor Troy and tell the choir to play vice versa.
Ask God to come down and give me all that advice in person.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. Not real fun. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it.
Thank you, brother. Man, I love you, brother. I appreciate it, bro. So all you niggas, whites and brown, jeans, tacuaches. See, I'm Mexican. I can say what's up, nigga. ¿Qué pasa, güey? ¿Qué pasa, vato? You saw shit. Hey, you saw shit. Hey, you saw? Hey, we make the connection.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Corn. Make sure you guys hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. We are back after like a 2-week break. I was only supposed to take a week off, but then, you know, as you guys know, things happen, right? The whole Charlie Kirk thing. And you know, it kind of like, I had opinions about it, obviously, which I shared on as a post. If you guys follow the page or already subscribed, you guys would have gotten a notification about that. So, you know, I shouted him out, said my quick thoughts on the whole situation. But I just felt like it was like just a little bit weird for me to try and stream last Sunday. So I was just like, you know what, I ain't gonna do it. Then I got busy this past Sunday, for some odd reason. Well, not for some odd reason. It was, you know, towards the end of the month where I work at. So, you know, got other stuff I got to take care of, obviously, before YouTube. So that's why I missed Sunday. And then I was supposed to stream last night. And then what ended up happening, well, let me fix my camera. What ended up happening last night is that we had a storm come through, and then my internet was going in and out. And I was just like, like it went out at first, then it came back, and I was like, all right, let me try and fucking hop on and see if I can at least come in a StreamYard. Then StreamYard was fucking up because the internet was fucking up. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just moving to tomorrow. That's when I made that post and everything. But I'm actually glad I moved it to today, because you guys want to know why. Because not only did we get the Rajah Jackson news a couple days ago about him finally being arrested, but as you guys see on the thumbnail that I put for this live stream, is that an AEW fan, and I don't want to like make too much of a laughing matter of this, because someone did die in the situation, I believe. I don't know too much about the situation, but that's going to be the main topic. But apparently 12 hours after going to an AEW event, this fan ended up getting caught with 4 people captured in his freaking basement, with one of them dead. Apparently, again, I don't know the facts yet. That's why we're going to watch the video. We're going to find out together. So make sure you guys hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're watching here on Rumble, hit that follow as well. Shout out to Mark, man. He says, what's good, Corn? Hopefully you've been doing well. I've been doing well, just busy, man. Just straight up busy. I wanted to talk about the Charlie Kirk thing, you know, give my opinions on that, but I was like, you know what, I'm just put out in a post. It's not really like my lane necessarily to spend an entire live stream on that. But I thought about it. Trust me, I thought about it. But I was just like, man, I don't know. For some reason, I felt like it would come off as disingenuous, which is why I didn't do it. I just went ahead, put out my quick thoughts about the situation. I've been going back and forth with people on Instagram and Twitter about it the past couple weeks, but not too much to where I'm like super. But again, this is something that really, really fucked up and shaped the country into a way that I'm not necessarily shocked, because I kind of called it, that somewhat called it, that it would lead to this. But now we see how society is going and shaping up in this way, especially here in America. It's fucking crazy. But can't tell you that I told you so in terms of how crazy people are. When somebody tells you, and you guys don't need these big YouTubers, you guys don't need these celebrities to come to the realization of, when somebody tells you that they fucking don't like you, they don't like you. You should believe them. But again, that's a whole nother thing. But again, yeah, RIP to what is going on with my camera, man? I keep shaping up my laptop and all right, here we go. Hopefully my audio is good. But yeah, again, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, man, because it's just fucked up shit. It's been like a whole avalanche of like dumb shit that has happened after that. It's just, and people have just turned it to like an entire fucking just mountain of problems in the media, in entertainment in general. Like it's a whole fucking thing. But again, comes as expected when something like that happens. So again, fucked up situation, man. Fucked up situation. Mark says, yikes, sorry to hear about the storm hitting your area. Yeah, man, it was, I mean, the storm didn't like affect me. It's just the freaking internet. And Florida's crazy, man. I don't know what possessed me to fucking come to Florida and move to Florida to where like, like the power in Florida is so weird. It's so weird. But again, first world problems. But yeah, so I had a whole bunch of topics because I would love to sit here and actually talk about the wrestling that I fucking watched over the weekend. But unfortunately, we have other pressing matters we have to talk about, like Rajah Jackson getting captured finally. And that was like a few days ago. So I'm kind of late on that one. But we're going to go ahead and watch David Otunga, who is an actual lawyer, by the way, talk about that situation, what he thinks is going to happen. And I believe they're going to talk about how much time he's facing. Because what I saw, at least consistently on Twitter, is that he's facing about 6 years. So we'll see. So we'll find that out together as well. So we're going to find that out. And then obviously the main topic, which is going to be the AEW cat hiding people and capturing people and holding people hostage in his fucking basement. And one of them apparently being dead. Again, don't know too much about that situation either, but we're going to get into that. So make sure you guys hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get into this stuff, man. Again, David Otunga, shout out to this guy. If you guys don't know who he is, he goes way back to the Nexus days. He wasn't a great wrestler or anything like that, but his physique was freaking like, dude was built. But yeah, I mean, to me, I'm not going to say he was stiff or anything like that, but he wasn't really that like flexible of a wrestler. So he was more of like, and he didn't have the height either. And that was the problem with David Otunga, where it's like, whoa, do we take him this seriously or not? Because he's not a tall, super muscular guy. He's like average size, muscular. But again, when you're in a whatever. For one reason or another, it didn't pan out. From what I know about David Otunga is that he has kids with, or at least a kid with, what's her name? Old girl from, was it Dreamgirls? Was that the name of the movie? She was a singer. Jennifer Hudson is his ex-wife. And I believe like he was going through custody battles with her at the tail end of his WWE career. So he actually had to leave WWE, obviously, to take care of his family, which anybody can fucking respect, or at least to take care of family business, right? To take care of the custody business. So anybody can fucking respect that. You know what I mean? And as you guys can see in his background, he's a former tag team champion. That's the most he's accomplished in his wrestling career. Again, no dig to him, but I mean, some people don't even win any titles in WWE, and I've been there for years. So shout out to David Otunga. But if people don't really know, I'm sure he's going to go into this, that he is a real lawyer. So he actually is from Harvard Law School. I was watching Legal Mindset, his take on this on my way home from work, but obviously I was kind of distracted with other stuff as well. But I figured this would be a little more entertaining than sitting there listening to Legal Mindset talk about it. Because even I yawn and go to sleep sometimes. I fall asleep listening to him, but he's very knowledgeable in the game. And I believe David Otunga is as well.
No, he really is. You know what's funny is still to this day in my comments, people are like, wait, you're really a lawyer? I thought that was just a gimmick. Or then there's people in the comments like, whoa, congratulations, David Otunga. After WWE, you went and became a lawyer. No, I was a lawyer the entire time. That's right. I'm a shoot lawyer.
What a phrase, a shoot lawyer. Hey, I do want to ask one more question, at least from your perspective, David. If this attack from Rajah onto Stu would have happened immediately after the beer can blow, because I think we all agreed that was a work shot with an empty beer can. He wasn't trying to inflict any damage. You even heard Stu say something like, are you not going to sell it, or something along those lines. If Rajah would have immediately fired back a live round in that moment, does that change this? Does he still wind up getting arrested, or is it a totally different tone and tenor if it happens like that?
No, this is a great question. That completely changes this. Totally different tone and tenor. If Rajah had immediately fired back, he would be warranted. He would be well within his right, and this would be a clear case of self-defense. Because again, up until this point, if you cut it off there and you ignore everything that happened after this, Raja just showed up at a wrestling event to see his friend who was wrestling that night. He is a streamer. He's backstage. A wrestler just who he doesn't know just comes up to him and smashes him on the head with a beer can. But now it's a work. So again, to somebody who's not a worker, this would be extremely confusing. Like, wait, this guy just hit me in the head, but it didn't hurt. And what is he doing? And then like, what's going on? Does he want to fight me? Should I fight him? Because again, Raja is not a worker. So this was real life to him. You got to look at that. So Raja had every right to fire.
Which I still disagree with, because you have to go back to, oh, wait a minute, I'm surrounded by pro wrestlers, guys that do all this stuff. And if you don't know, then old dude that brought him there should have kind of schooled him up on that, especially before he takes you literally into their own backyard, their own little parking lot full of nothing but wrestlers. And there's no other fans around except for you and your cameraman. So I will always disagree when it comes to that, to anybody who says that, legend or not, or somebody who's experienced in the game or not. That's just common fucking sense.
There, and it would have been Psycho Stu's fault. Now, where things go left is the fact that it was explained to him, and they apologized. They shook hands and said, "Hey, you can run into his match, and we'll make this into something. We'll make a spot out of this. You get to get your receipt." And you know, if you actually go through that video, nowhere do we ever hear them tell Raja to throw working punches or whatever he's supposed to do. There's one point in the video where a guy is whispering to Raja, presumably giving him his spot.
That was at the
I don't
hallway,
know what they told him, but I'm pretty certain they did not tell him to go in there and throw live punches 23 times.
No.
After Stu was unconscious. I'm pretty sure they didn't say that. So I don't think it's in dispute that Raja went way, way, way too far and is responsible for his actions. But again, if he had just hauled off and punched Psycho Stu right after the beer can incident, it would have been easily self-defense.
David, what do you think happens if you're trying to handicap this as what's going to end up happening from the judge or jury if this thing does go to a jury trial? What do you think is the final outcome of this? Your most likely outcome?
It's really hard to say, honestly, because it's going to come down to the arguments. I mean, you know, which lawyer understands wrestling terms better? Because you could make a strong argument that, you know, they didn't explain this to Raja and he was under the impression he was allowed to do so. They told him to really punch the guy. Raja's an MMA fighter. In his mind, you know, MMA fighters are told to throw punches until the referee pulls him off. Raja does say something about that in here. Like, there's all these different things you could build. But then again, on the flip side, the prosecution could really just hammer in. It doesn't matter. He knows that this was supposed to be fake or a work, and he went way beyond that and how much he incriminated himself. So,
and on top of that, I wonder if they're gonna. I'm dead. I paused it right at this phrase, but I wonder if they're gonna use the whole "oh, he had a concussion the day before," when. But it's like, well, if that's the case, if he's a danger to society, I mean, would it be worse that he's a danger to society because he had a concussion the day before and decided to step outside of his front door? Isn't that still his fault? No matter concussion or not, you made the decision to be around other normal folk in a public space and decide to wild out and almost kill a dude. And you would have if people didn't, you know, pull you off of old dude who was already unconscious. So to me, it's worse the fact that I don't know if they want to bring that up, the whole concussion thing. I'm sure that it was mentioned in the live stream somewhere to where they're going to be like, oh yeah, on top of that, you had a concussion the day before and decided to do some stupid shit.
It's really hard.
Again, this is California we're talking about.
To say, but again, if I really had to bet, I would say it's going to be a plea bargain. And I don't think he's avoiding a felony. He might be able to avoid jail time or get 1 year, maybe 1 year in county and probation.
And David, this seems like so crazy. You know, you and I have been in business a long time, and we haven't seen anything like this in our entire lifetime. Is something like,
by the way, shout out JBL, man. Shout out JBL, legend.
Like this, people say, well, this is going to open up the door, Pandora's box. I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's going to all of a sudden you're going to have people, oh, that guy was working too stiff or something, where I'm going to file charges on him. I don't think that it opens up Pandora's box. Do you? I think this is such an extreme thing that is such an outlier from everything that's gone on, because we haven't seen this before. We probably aren't going to see this again, are we?
Right. And I totally agree with you. This is such an outlier, such a unique case, and we've never seen anything like it before, and we probably will not ever again. This is so unique. So this is somebody who is a civilian, basically, who is brought into the ring to do a spot. Now, that doesn't usually happen. And John, I know you know, but in WWE, if they have a civilian or somebody who's a non-worker that is going to come in for a spot, they rehearse this ad nauseum. Even
bingo, 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 bingo. Now, I have to give Mark Henry credit where credit's due. He said something of this nature, right? But then he went on to spew out all the other dumb shit, and it was just like, all right, fam, bad take, Mark, again. But this was the beginning of Mark Henry's take, if you guys don't remember. He said something along the lines of this very same thing, compared it to like what WWE does. But remember, we're talking about the indies, and we're talking about guys that obviously, until they're actually held accountable in this situation alone, they didn't do that. Not even remotely. Or else this would not have happened.
Even if this is not a civilian, you know, just the regular performers, WWE superstars, we rehearse a ton. If another WWE superstar is going to come and make a run-in in the match, we rehearse that. So that's why this is just such a unique situation, where it's like watching that stream, it's still wild to me, like how this ended up happening, because there were so many points throughout the night for over an hour that this could have been avoided. So many ways this could have been avoided, and it wasn't. It was like the perfect storm of things that had to go wrong in order for this to happen, and it did.
David, do you expect there to be any civil charges? I mean, we've talked about this strictly from a criminal perspective, but do you think Stu and his wife may actually wind up suing Raja civilly as well?
It's hard to say. I mean, we haven't heard anything from Stu, so we don't know, you know, where his mindset is or how he's leaning.
Oh, 100%. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, if I'm Psycho Stu, I'm suing. Now, you could say this, call me that, whatever, but he didn't know that was going to happen. They didn't face each other fair and square. If I face somebody fair and square, if me and somebody square up on the streets right now and I get knocked the fuck out, I'm not suing, obviously. But if I'm just walking down the street and somebody runs up at me and just fucking mollywops me with a fucking skateboard, and I'm left there to fucking die, and I can finally wake up and say, I lived, bitch. Now I'm gonna take your fucking money. Abso-fucking-lutely. Either that or your ass is gonna rot in fucking prison. Or both. BOF, both. Yeah. Because it's unprovoked. This was unprovoked. And he was 100% defenseless in the situation. So yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Sue the fuck out this nigga, bro.
However, I mean, I do think that a civil suit would be very successful here. I mean, there's a lot of people who could be sued. Raja, the promotion. I mean, there's a lot of torts that I could think of, you know, that are civil actions, negligence, you know, intentional infliction of emotional distress. There's a lot. So yeah, again, I don't know what his mindset is. Maybe Stu just wants to put it behind him.
And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, whether you're in the chat right now or watching this later. And isn't this guy a PTSD advocate as well? Doesn't he help other veterans with PTSD? So I'm assuming he probably has PTSD as well. So now that's another layer on top of that. Now you're dealing with some more fucking trauma because now I assume he's gonna be very defensive, just physically, with everything at this point in his life. He was already up there in, now I wouldn't say up there in age, but you know what I mean. He seemed like an older guy, like 40, like maybe mid 40s, mid 50s. And now he's got to deal with this. And I'm sure he's not just chilling at home right now, just 100%, willy-nilly a month later. No, I'm sure there's some serious fucking damage, especially to the brain after 23 what would you call it? Just 23 defenseless fucking hits, undefended fits, a fist to the face. 23 times, bro, by somebody that's actually trained too, which is even worse. So I'm suing. If I'm Psycho Stu, I'm fucking suing. Want to know why? Because I got kids and they could have been without a dad because you wanted to get your shit in. You want to be Billy Badass. Well, guess what? Now your ass going to rot in jail and I'm going to make some motherfucking money.
Who knows? So it remains to be seen.
You mentioned a lot of people could be sued. And of course, that's a response to a civil question. Criminally, do you think anyone else could be charged? Does anyone else have any criminal liability in your opinion?
I don't know all of the facts and the details and what exactly was explained to Raja and what wasn't. But just based off of the video stream that I watched and the evidence that's been made aware to me, I think it's just Raja. It's very clear that he acted on his own. It was premeditated. He went outside the scope. I know that AJ Mana caught a lot of backlash for this because he was Raja.
Because remember, he was the guy in the hallway that was like, "Go ahead, get your shit in. You're able to get your receipt." Remember, he used the word receipt and didn't explain what a fucking. Well, I guess he kind of explained what a fucking receipt was, but didn't fully explain, obviously, what a receipt was. So this is crazy, man. I still don't think anybody else should be sued for this though, because Raja did this on his own. Literally did this on his own.
Best friend, and he told him, get your receipt, lay him in, tag him. But a lot of people were calling for AJ to be an accomplice. But that's wild to me to think that AJ would know what Raja was going to do.
Yeah, he ain't know, bro. Ain't no way he would have known. Because he wouldn't have let him hurt the dude that he already fucking knows. First of all, he wouldn't let him hurt another wrestler, especially being defenseless like that.
And then he would have to help him do that in some way.
Yeah.
So the elements of an accomplice just aren't there. They really are not.
Yeah.
And, if anything, I would think that if AJ knew about this and that's his friend, he would probably have gone out there and stopped it. So I think Raja is really the only one, clearly facing criminal charges here based on the evidence we know now.
Would there be any charges as far as negligence, by the organization itself? And I'm not saying that there is. I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but there's any chance there, if it was in a licensed state, and I don't know if Nevada is a licensed state or not, you might have a problem getting future license because of the incident. Is that a possibility?
Oh, that's definitely a possibility. And again, I don't know what actually was said or done by the organization. I've heard rumors Raja had been there before or was there the day before. I don't know what the conversations were like there. But again, based on the video, there's a number of places for negligence. I don't ever see Raja sign a contract or a waiver or anything like that. Yeah. And just the fact that Raja didn't even know when his spot was, clearly just negligence, recklessness.
Right.
That's crazy, man. I saw somebody earlier, because I was looking through videos. I saw somebody earlier say, not necessarily try and blame the people in this chat, but they were trying to say is this a problem? Are they going to bring up the fact that, he was, they try to mention basically as a defense or devil's advocate for him was that he felt, I guess, motivated by his own chat. And it's like, and I've said this a million times, don't live stream that. If you let words and you let people that you don't even know personally dictate how you should fucking feel, or dictate what you do, or dictate how you move and what you should or shouldn't do, especially when it comes to morals, you have a bigger issue. You have a mental issue because you're 25 years old and you just knocked the dude out and almost killed him in front of a bunch of what it seemed like teenagers and kids and their parents. So, bruh, and we saw kids in the video at ringside. So you did that in front of them. Yeah, bruh, you got to go away for quite some time, man. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Because you should have known. You should have known. And to say that you didn't know is not a fucking excuse. I didn't know I couldn't do that. I didn't know I couldn't hit him 23 times. What? So again, I'm happy you got caught. Happy you got arrested. It took him way too long to fucking do it, first of all. Second of all, I believe this is in California, so he might not even get in trouble for it. He might get a fucking slap on the wrist, or like David Otunga said, maybe even probation or something like that. Like, nah, fam, he got a rot for that, bro. I know it sounds cruel, but if you let him get away with this, which you've already there's countless number of stories of the state of California, just on the West in general, on the West Coast in general, of people doing stupid shit like this and getting away with it, getting a slap on the wrist. And then they go out and do the same thing because you want to know why? They know they're going to either get another slap on the wrist, or they might even get away with it in general. Countless number of stories we've seen about that. This is no different. The only problem is people get it mixed up now. I wouldn't say get it mixed up, but people's feelings are mixed because it happened in a wrestling ring. It happened under a wrestling company's watch. That's what makes this whole situation complicated. But at the end of the day, it's still assault, if not attempted murder, because of how many times he hit the dude while he was knocked out cold. But again, we're not talking about that. We're talking about whether he's going to get sued or not, which I understand. Obviously, we're talking to a lawyer. He's going to mention whether he gets sued or not. But I'm like, bro, this dude needs to do some, like, what is the punishment other than getting fucking sued? We're talking about only 6 years. I mean, hell, maybe 6 years. Maybe 6 years will teach him. I'm not going to be the judge, or I don't want to fucking count years and shit like that. I don't want to be that guy. But there's got to be some serious fucking repercussions for what the fuck this dude did. Period. Point blank. But I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what y'all think, bro. Hit me up in the comments, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys go over to David Otunga's channel. Hit that subscribe as well. He's got some good content over there. And again, he's an actual fucking Harvard lawyer. So, he actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. Now, let's get over here to this story. And just so you guys know, just in case anybody's like, really, Corn? Really, your thumbnail on this thing? Really? Let me tell you guys something. The channel that we're about to watch, this video we're about to watch, their channel, this is the thumbnail. AEW has their logo on this dude's fucking Law and Crime Network, bro. They are fucking savages. Now, again, I don't want to laugh at the people that have been captured. This is in no way, shape, or form I'm laughing at the people being captured. But this shit is it's hilarious, bro. It is hilarious the fact that they decided to put an AEW fan on the thumbnail of this video of something so horrific. Holy shit. AEW cannot catch a fucking break. I mean, look, again, like I said, I was going to get on AEW's ass for a lot of things actually wrestling related because I was going to talk about actual wrestling tonight. But there's so much shit that ain't even fucking. We got to check this probably about to join OnlyFans. She literally denied a contract from NXT. And she said for financial reasons. Who's going to pay you more for being mid at best? Oh, we know what it is. You want to work the indies and then you want to get on OnlyFans. Okay, we get it. Like I said, I got better stuff that we could be talking about, but fuck. This one takes the cake, man. So let's go ahead and get to this video because, like I said, I don't know the exact details of this whole thing, but from the details that I saw is that this guy held 4 people captive in his basement. And then he got caught 12 hours after taking a picture, which is the thumbnail that I have on this live stream right now. 12 hours after he took that picture with Tony Khan and Luchasaurus is when he got caught. That is some wild shit. But anyways, man, let's go ahead and get to this. Hit that like and subscribe, all that good stuff, man. You're only going to get this here, so you already know what it is.
Now accused of confining 4 people in their own hell in his basement. Authorities say he held 4 people against their will, beating them and strangling them inside his home, in some cases for as long as a decade. Police say they...
Wait. They just said a decade? Four people in this dude's basement for a decade?
Found out about the alleged house of horror because one of the people allegedly held captive died. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime.
Okay. So he was, there was one that died of the 4 people he captured. So that was true.
I'm Chris Stewart. When I read the headline to this story, I had to read it twice because it was so shocking.
I won't get copyrighted for this, will I? I hope not. Hopefully, I wouldn't say copyright, but hopefully the stream doesn't go down because of this. So if the stream goes down, just know it's because we're watching this.
And it's the kind of story where you just can't comprehend that something like this could allegedly happen. But police in Lancaster, South Carolina say these allegations are very real. And they center around the man you see here. His name is Donnie Ray Birchfield Jr. He's now under arrest. He's facing several charges. I'll tell you about those in just a moment. Birchfield Jr. Okay. He's now under arrest. He's facing several charges. I'll tell you about those in just a moment. Law enforcement has told us, by the way, that more charges could be coming pending the outcome of an investigation that is still ongoing. So let's go back to when police first discovered what was allegedly happening inside Birchfield's home. The story begins on July 25th. Police in Lancaster, South Carolina, it's about an hour south of Charlotte, they got a call about an unattended death inside Birchfield's home. According to warrants obtained by the Post and Courier media outlet, police determined that the woman who had died inside that house had died actually a day prior to them showing up at Birchfield's home. They say there was also evidence that the woman was physically denied food, water, and medical treatment. This was just the beginning of what law enforcement allegedly found on Birchfield. There were also 3 other people inside this house, and police say they were allegedly being held captive by Birchfield. Now, we found several pictures of Birchfield on social media. It's of him and his family. In many ways, it appears that he was continuing to live his life publicly as all of this allegedly was happening behind the door of his home. The newspaper also reports that the woman who died had a husband and he was being held captive inside Birchfield's home. There were 2 more people, a total of 4 people allegedly being held captive. The other 2 were women, police say, who Birchfield was in a relationship with. Police said for the husband and wife, Birchfield was the sole provider for them. It's unclear at this point.
Wait. It's that he was in a relationship with 2 women? Bro, what the fuck?
Who they are, and it's unclear how Birchfield knew.
It's at South Carolina, right? crazy shit.
Now, as far as the two women who were allegedly in some kind of romantic relationship with Birchfield, police say one had moved into the house in September of last year. The other, get this, had been in the home, police say, since 2015. We are talking a decade. Now on Facebook, again, we see Birchfield in pictures, seemingly looking like someone who lived a normal life.
Bro, this is like that dude got captured in Korea, man. Like he didn't see like sunlight for like a whole, like, what was it, like a whole 10 years or some shit. And then got shipped over here and then died. Like as soon as he hit fucking America. Like fucking crazy shit, bro. This is some unheard shit. Somebody being captive for 10 years in 2020. Like, holy fuck.
And there is a woman who he is with in a profile picture.
Bro, I was still in the army in 2015, bro.
But we don't know who that is. Now, according to police, Birchfield kept the four in his basement, and they were only allowed to leave when he let them. Birchfield also controlled the victims' cell phones, police say. He stopped them from calling for help. He also allegedly controlled when the victims would eat and when they would use the bathroom. Physically, police say Birchfield abused the victims, including by strangling them. One woman allegedly told police that Birchfield threatened to kill her and her family, and that he said he knew how to get rid of a body from past experience. Then, since 2021, police allege that Birchfield used the couple's credit card and debit card to pay for at least $2,000 to buy items online from Walmart. There were 32 transactions, in fact, and police say they were all for Birchfield. And financially, he wasn't done because he also allegedly spent nearly $12,000 of that couple's money over the first 8 months of this year, and that was to pay off multiple credit cards. You might be wondering, what kind of monster is this? Well, a member of his family is pushing back on these allegations, calling them gossip. I'll tell you what she had to say in just a moment. What we do know about Birchfield, again, you saw a lot of pictures with him and his family. It appears that he is the son of a Baptist pastor in Lancaster, South Carolina. It also appears
now this picture right here, obviously on a thumbnail, they blurred out Tony Khan's face. I didn't. This is so this right here is the first part of this entire story that I saw. And I was like, why is there why is somebody's face blurred out? Because the first picture I saw was Tony Khan's face blurred out. I was like, whose face that is blurred out? And of course, we see. And of course, this fucking weirdo is wearing a mask. And we know it's not mask season because the chick up here ain't wearing a fucking mask. So you can already know this dude's a fucking weirdo. It's always the weirdo creeps that always do this stupid shit. Always them, man.
Huge fan of professional wrestling. His social media shows him with several wrestlers, and this one in some ways is sad.
Fuck, man. As if wrestling fans didn't get bad enough rap. What did Mark say? He said it better. Yeah, he said wrestling fans continue to get a terrible rep with situations like this. Facts, man. Facts. Mega facts. Like, I don't understand, bro. And literally, AEW is infamous for this, or not for this exact way. I'm not saying that, but they're infamous for being in the spotlight when it comes to their shitty fucking fans, anyways, especially the stands, right? The AEW stands. I won't want to say AEW fans, but the stands. I'll just say that. Because not too long ago, you had an actual wrestler come out that is with AEW that was talking about the hygiene of AEW stands. At conventions. We went over that, what was it, just the other month on one of my live streams. And then not too long ago, I believe it was not over this weekend. It may have been over this weekend, but there's an entire story. And I think I might have marked it on my Twitter. So if I find it, I'll probably put it as a post and be like, hey, this is what I was talking about in my live stream. But a fan came out, I want to say within the past week, I saw this. Fan came out and said that they went to an AEW event and literally had to leave the event early because the person that either sat behind, in front of them or beside them stunk so fucking bad. And I was like, no fucking way, this is real. No fucking way. It blew up. I'm sure a lot of people saw it. I'm sure some of y'all that watch this know what I'm talking about, the story I'm talking about. But I was like, bro, these AEW stands continue to get a bad fucking rep. And then here comes this. And it's like, bro, Law and Crime Network, man, I guess they can't be trolling too much because they blurred out Tony Khan's face. But man, holy fuck. They're some fucking savages. They're some savages.
Sadly ironic.
Think about what this does for AEW in terms of, now again, I'm not laughing at the situation, like the murder and all that shit. I'm laughing at the fact that AEW is getting more of a bad rap. They're getting more of the shit end of the stick. Rightfully so, because when you treat real fans like shit, I don't have remorse in laughing at your fucking, at you getting your name getting drug in the mud. Even if it's for the wrong reasons like this. This ain't even got nothing to do with the wrestling or the terrible stories you got going, the terrible characters you have. This has to do with a fucking creepy ass dude, and every fucking picture he has is smothered in AEW merch. A murderous creep. Yeah. That's what this is.
Because you can see a chain around Birchfield's neck. What he's accused of course, in this story, it's not just some gimmick or storyline. This is very real. And again, someone died. And the question is, will he face charges for that? Police say the investigation is ongoing. Now, as far as at least one person who may be in his corner on social media is his sister, because she posted on Facebook, quote, "Before you share or repost anything about my family, please stop and put yourself in our place. What if it were your son, your brother, or your friend being gossiped about?"
But what about the 4 people that are captured and haven't seen a light of day in 10 years? 10 fucking
and judged online,
years.
spreading speculation, repeating unverified claims and adding commentary only causes more harm. It's not helping anyone. Now, look, it is true that we have not heard Birchfield's side of the story. And if there's any chance that all of this is some big misunderstanding, certainly we'll wait and hear what his side will be. It's also unclear how the woman in his home died. We're still waiting for a cause of death from authorities, and it's unclear how someone could allegedly be held captive in at least one case for a decade and for no one to know about it until over the summer when Birchfield was arrested.
That is strange, man. Especially for chicks. Like, what kind of life do you live as a woman that, holy fuck, man. I didn't even think about that. Like, when I hear stories like this, I really don't really be thinking about nobody was looking for this woman. And nobody was looking for the other 2 chicks. Now, us men, I kind of understand, especially me nowadays. I keep a small circle. I could probably go missing for probably a few months and nobody would notice. But that's because I keep my shit small. Only very few people know what the fuck I'm doing and where I'm at. But for a woman, I'm like, what the fuck kind of lives did these women live to where nobody had any kind of suspicion whatsoever, especially when the dude was dating them? Didn't they say that dude was dating 2 of the chicks that he held captive because the other ones was a couple? So imagine a husband and a wife going missing and nobody's wondering where the husband and wife are. A female goes missing for 10 years and nobody's wondering. No APB, no nothing. Fuck. I should have thought about that when they said it 10 years, but man, I didn't even think about that. How you go missing and nobody wondering where you at?
Talked to law enforcement. They said that more charges are potentially coming as this investigation continues on, and it is a very complicated investigation. Birchfield's currently facing 16 charges. There's 2 counts of abuse of a vulnerable adult, 4 counts of false imprisonment, 2 counts of domestic violence, high and aggravated nature, financial transaction card fraud, exploitation of a vulnerable adult, 2 counts of financial transaction card theft, identity fraud, and 3 counts of exploitation of a vulnerable adult. He's being held on $150,000 bond. Joining us now to talk more about this is former sheriff's deputy and former SWAT team member Chad Ayers. Always great to have you on Law and Crime. Thanks for being with us. This is a disturbing case, to say the least. I guess just what do you take away from what we've read thus far?
I was like, dang.
No, Chris, it's great to join you again, as always. First and foremost, psychopath, and how embarrassing it is that this is actually taking place or took place in my own state of South Carolina. Honestly, Chris, it took me back to several years ago where a gentleman by the name of Todd Colehep, I'm sure many of you remember this case, same type of situation, except he was actually charged with several high-profile murders in the upstate, but he had kept people captive in Connex boxes. Again, not exactly the same thing, but same type of just sick mentality. But obviously we got a lot of questions, and obviously as this investigation continues to play out and more information comes, I think it's going to shed a lot of light on the background of this sick individual.
We typed Donnie Birchfield's name into truthfinder.com, and we saw the address that police say these horrific crimes allegedly happened in. We use Truthfinder to learn more about the people involved in our stories. That can give you criminal background checks.
As well, an ad right now, bro. What the fuck?
Your family member for work for a day that they might get a phone.
Hey, since he gonna do an ad, I'm gonna do an ad. Hit that like and subscribe, man. You already know.
Call from an employer or a family member. But we've seen in these cases where someone disappears for a period of time. Like, it's happened before. Like, how is it that someone can fall through the cracks for so long, and then it leads to this point where it's like, oh my gosh, here they are 10 years later in a basement in Lancaster, South Carolina?
Yeah, I think sometimes, Chris, I have to remind myself, not everyone has that same type of relationship with their family and friends like I do. I come from a very tight-knit family. I talk to my parents once a day, if not every other day. I mean, we're tight-knit. But it's important to remember not everyone, has that type of relationship with friends and family. So I think when you're, in a relationship with a narcissistic person like this individual was, you can start playing mind games. Look, that's a form of domestic violence. It's a domestic abuse is exactly what it is. So that's why it is important, you see these early warning signs, even if it's an acquaintance or a coworker, and you start seeing some of these early warning signs, don't dismiss it. Right. I think it's important that.
But what are the warning signs, though? Like, because that gets misconstrued to where it's like, we already know where people are misconstruing masculinity and toxism and all that. So we have to be specific, because I agree. But I see, this is why I have issues with trying to explain shit to people of like what to look for when it comes to danger and shit like that. Because I'm just a vibe person. I know automatically once I meet someone after about a conversation or two, if not right off the bat, whether your vibe is off or whether you're good, whether we can mesh well, whatever. Most people can't do that. So you have to be specific in terms of when are especially women, right? I'm not a woman, so I can't say, but especially women, you have to be able to know when to scream stranger danger and when it's somebody completely normal. And maybe it's just awkward. Because now people will misconstrue and confuse awkwardness with this type psycho type shit is all I'm saying. So hopefully
we report things to authorities, that we see concerning behavior. There's no way you're going to tell me that this went on for 10 years, and I get it. Look, Lancaster's very rural. It's out in the middle of nowhere, really. So the idea that you're in a busy neighborhood, I don't know, obviously, but there had to have been tall tale signs that something was off in this house.
10 whole years.
And when you respond to an unattended death, because that's how this started, is someone, maybe it was the suspect, Donnie Birchfield in this case, he calls because there's a dead body in his home. But as a sheriff's deputy, if you're going and you're responding to this, what are you looking for where your radar's up, where, wait a second, this isn't just, I don't know if they were elderly, but someone who just died in the home. There's something a lot more that's going on here.
Well, it's all, I think it's also case specific. There's been plenty of times of natural deaths I've, responded to when I was a deputy where, maybe it was an elderly person or a person that was dying of cancer. There are situations where if I come in and there's a decedent in the house, if I can get the doctor If we contact the doctor or EMS contacts the doctor, a lot of times, if a doctor will sign off on the death certificate, you don't even have to have the coroner or investigators come out because, hey, look, this X, Y, and Z person, has had terminal illness for a long period of time. I'll sign off on that death certificate. But, when I come in and there's multiple people, I'm going to kind of gauge the environment, right? Or did this sick individual manipulate these people so much where they played off on it as well? So looking around, was there signs of struggle? Does it look
like Stockholm syndrome type shit,
like a true natural death? What are the living conditions like inside this residence? Talking to the suspect, was he the primary caregiver? What can we find out? So you really got to start very basic.
Not only was this guy an AEW fan, this guy's a Redskin fan, bro. I digress.
Chris, and then start to build and ask the right questions. I think it's probably the right way to go about this.
I think of some other cases where there are these allegations that someone's been held against their will for an extended period of time. And I think on the outside, when you think of what that would look like, and we don't have pictures of what it did look like in the basement. He's accused of physical abuse of these victims as well. But, you think of like someone chained up like medieval time style, against a wall. But we've seen in a lot of cases where law enforcement will say that's not exactly how it works. I mean, typically what does in these cases the evidence need to be to prove that someone was being held against their will?
Yeah, obviously times where, like we saw in this case, where that he is removing access to cell phones, emails, internets, ways for these people to communicate. Basically, like you said, it doesn't take someone being chained up or duct taped like we see in the movie. This isn't a Liam Neeson movie. It can be the form of psychological intimidation, telling this person, hey, if you want to eat, if you want your medication, if you want a place to live, you're going to do what I tell you to do. It's pure narcissistic manipulation is all it is. But it is a form of.
But how does one dude get 4 people to do that? One dude got 4 fucking people to do that. Fat Landry Clark looking ass got 4 people to do that, to just automatically get, I don't say automatically, obviously, because you don't just get Stockholm syndrome automatically. But basically what they're talking about when they say psychological manipulation, Stockholm syndrome, it would have to be that, wouldn't it? Or is it something else? This is some crazy shit. Mark says, it reminds me of how the least likely physically imposing guys are the ones who really are capable of doing terrible things too. Yeah, I don't fucking get it, man. I don't get it. Like, he seems like the kind of guy that probably like yells at his wife very aggressively. Like, to the point where spit's coming out of his mouth, where he's like, shut up, Rex. And she's like, oh. But not like kidnapping 4 grown adults and keeping them hostage for 10 years. Like, that's, and then using their money to buy AEW merch and AEW tickets and go on AEW vacations and shit. Some wild shit, bro. Mark says, I'm still stuck on how he got away with kidnapping. Yeah, without even, I don't know, bro. Nobody was looking for these niggas.
Kidnapping in and of itself, because you're keeping these people against their will and preventing them from talking. And in fact, it's also a form of domestic abuse. In South Carolina, if you remove, take a phone from a spouse or a domestic partner, that is a form of domestic violence. And so, again, there's more to it.
Hold up. What? We learning all types of shit on this stream tonight. Did he just say, if you take your spouse's phone, that is a form of domestic violence? Fam, what?
Than the guy with the big jacket holding you and tying you up in your basement. That it can be psychological as well, which is, I truly believe, is really what was in this case.
So it was around July 25th that the law enforcement responded to this unattended death, and then everything came about. And I believe he was arrested on August 1st. Here we are in September, this story is starting to come to light. But I think of, at least in the case of the individual who was allegedly held since 2015, I mean, how do you go back that far and build a case and try and figure out and piece together a timeline? Because you're not only just doing it for one person. In this situation, you're doing it for 4 people.
Yeah, removing them now that this sick individual has been arrested, it kind of gives those victims a little bit more breathing room and peace of mind. Obviously, I would want a forensic type of counselor or psychiatrist in there to kind of first get these people to where, you know, we can talk to them. Because imagine just the brutal and the mind games.
Our normal state of conscience. Exactly. Like, hey, you can't just be like, hey, so what happened? Like, you can't just, come on. Being held in captive for that, I cannot imagine how fucked up and twisted their mind is. Especially, like, imagine if they actually saw that person dying while they're all in captive and they couldn't do anything fucking about it. Like, that itself is going to scar you for life. Which is why I always, not always, but which is why I've been saying for the past couple of weeks after the Kirk thing happened. It's crazy how so many people are not fucking fazed by even watching that video. It's baffling to me.
That have been played with these people for all this time. I mean, we're going on 10 years on some of the people that were found in this residence. So can you imagine? Look, we have seen this time and time again.
Crazy,
there's been numerous cases where that have gotten national attention, where kids were stored or the locks in their residence were flipped backwards so they didn't have access. So once I can get these people some breathing room and let them know this monster is in jail, you are safe, that kind of their guard starts to come down a little bit and they feel more free talking about it. Look, again, there's a lot, Chris, we don't know about this case. Could it have been something where he was feeding this person? You know, was there a substance abuse issue where they were basically feeding, you know, the victim drugs to stay there? We see this a lot in like sex trafficking and some of these, you know, prostitution.
Wait, but if that were the case, wouldn't they have overdosed by now with doing that for so long? Because that is a thing, right? You can't do drugs that long. And I mean, I guess depending on the drug, right? I mean, again, like we said, we don't know. For instance, nothing has come back yet. Like, they just did this shit.
Cases where the pimp's basically feeding the dope habit, you know, and in order to feed the dope habit, you have to go out here and pimp yourself out. So there's different ways to do that, but separating them from that suspect is first, and getting some professional counselors in there to kind of take the tension out of the air and let them know this is a safe environment.
And of the charges he's facing right now, there is abuse of a vulnerable adult is the term that's being used in South Carolina, because we don't know the victims in terms of, we know that there was 2 women who he was in some sort of romantic relationship with, and then there was a couple, a husband and a wife, that he was considered the sole provider for, and that seems very vague, but they're all considered vulnerable adults, like legal.
Also, that dude can pull 2 hoes in Lancaster. I'm going to say that again. If that dude can pull 2 hoes at one time in Lancaster,
legally, what does that actually mean?
Chris, a vulnerable adult by the law in South Carolina means a person 18 years of age or older who has a physical or mental condition which substantially impairs the person from adequately providing for his or her own care or protection. So any type of person that may stay in a facility, a long-term memory care facility, that is what's going to kind of meet those guidelines.
Yeah, and because I also just think too, I mean, because he's in pictures with family members on social media. It's been reported that his dad is a pastor in a small community. I mean, a Baptist preacher that
pastors'
people
kids too,
know
man.
In the community.
They say pastors' kids are the worst ones. They are the fucking worst kids, are pastors' kids. So that's another glaring problem on top of this.
I mean, and I don't know what their relationship is, or how often they were together, but from a law enforcement standpoint, not only are you kind of piecing together the stories of each of these 4 people, but you have to think at some point somebody saw something. And I mean, what type of charges, I'm not saying for the dad, I'm just saying generally speaking, if people knew that there were people inside this home, I mean, how do you go about figuring out whether someone else could be involved in this?
Yeah, that's a good question too. And I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, again, there's no way you can kidnap 4 people and hold them hostage and no one see them for all that time unless you had some kind of help with something. Because it's not like you're going to be able to have like your uncle or somebody or your pastor dad or anybody to go around and say, hey, yeah, I know, this such and such couple, they went on this trip and just never came back. It's got to be something more than just that. I don't know, man.
Obviously, we could have conspiracy charges or, hindering investigation charges. If you knew and you didn't report that, you're just as sick as this individual is. So again, that's where in this investigation, I promise you, they are diving into cell phone records, digital media to see exactly who knew, who was communicating with this person. Obviously, we are reading now a lot that the suspect was, financial crimes, taking advantage. First of all, this is the, 2 things I've always said. You don't mess with a child. You don't mess with an old person. You want to piss me off. That's the 2 best ways to do it. I've got no sympathy for someone like this who is taking advantage of these vulnerable people financially, mentally, sexually. Who knows what's going to come out from this investigation? But this is where diving into that forensic evidence and doing a lot of interviews.
Facts. Now this nigga, we just got done talking about one motherfucker that needs to rot. This nigga, this motherfucker needs to rot. Now again, if this shit is true, because we got Raja caught in 4K. It's highly unlikely that they caught the wrong dude in this situation. But this motherfucker needs to rot straight to hell. Straight. No, don't just pass 200, pass all that other shit. Whatever is else on Monopoly. Straight to hell. Not jail. Hell. Mark says that's a great point. Maybe there were more people involved in this or indirectly helping the sicko. Yeah, that's even worse. What if they were like indirectly helping him? Like they didn't even know they were helping this motherfucker, bro. It just seems off. He really is capable of thinking and carrying out this crime on his own. Yeah. But again, if you listen to what this guy is saying, the way he describes Lancaster, though, in South Carolina, is that it's like way out of the way, middle of nowhere type thing. And South Carolina is a big state. Traveled through it quite a few times. So I believe it. But again, in 2025, it's kind of hard, very hard to do that. Like I've never fucking buried a body or no shit like that, but I assume it's pretty fucking hard to get away with it for that long, as long as he did. Remotely as long as he did it, if it was for 10 years.
With neighbors, friends, and families is hopefully going to shed a lot of light as to, how did we get here? How did we get to this place that we're at today? What was the relationship? How did he know these 2 elderly people in the residence? There's still a lot of questions out there. And that's why I think it's important that we wait till this full investigation is fully transpired before we, I don't like giving my hearsay on things until a lot more is out.
For sure. And I think, in terms of what we were told by the local police that they're expecting or saying more charges could come. Obviously, there's an investigation, a lot of questions about that. The financial crimes part is interesting. And you talk about getting fired up because it was noted that he used, I think it was $2,000 off a credit card to go buy stuff at Walmart only for himself. Like police were very clear. Like it's not like he was going to get things for the people in the house, and $11,000 to pay off credit card stuff that he had going on. And it seems like in some of these cases too, not only do you have the abuse, but then as you're piecing together a case against somebody, this is someone who only cared about himself.
Yeah. Seeming that you have a guy that had 4 people held captive in his basement, and this motherfucker is out here doing this. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, you want to talk about wrestling fans getting a bad rap. This is as bad as it fucking gets. There's only a couple things worse than, and again, there may be some more fucking details that come out, by the way. Because like old dude said, we ain't got all the details yet. This could be something completely even worse than what we've already gotten in terms of the details. Because there's only about 2 other things that I could think that is worse than what he's already fucking committed. And like, again, this is this dude's fault, by the way, that AEW is under the fucking spotlight in a negative light again. Nobody's now, again, I like making fun of AEW, but let's be real for a second. It's nobody's fault but his. So yeah, is it funny the fact that they put AEW's fucking logo all over the place when it comes to this situation, this crime, and possible murder and all this shit? I think, look, here's my thing. AEW deserves to have their name drug in the mud. They do. Because of the way they treat the real fans, real wrestling fans. And because of the way that the stands like this guy, I guarantee you, is an AEW stand, because the fact that this guy had 4 people held captive and decided to spend their hard-earned money, offer their hard work on AEW tickets. Yeah, dude, this dude's he's a next level piece of shit. And on top of that, I get the shit on AEW. Absolutely. Absolutely. But now, again, I'm not in no way, shape, form, or fashion trying to associate AEW with the murder or anything like that. Obviously not. All I'm saying is AEW stands are fucking creepy. And now we see one of them is a fucking murderer. Certified fucking creep. To the literal sense, by the way. Whoever AEW disciplinary says the investigation started 12 hours after the second picture was posted. So that's when I asked, obviously, is that true? And there's a couple people that said that it is true. But again, that's not necessarily official. I don't know. But that is some, if that is true, that's very fucking concerning.
Yeah, look, there's so many scams that go on aside from this case, right? These people that call on the elderly to take advantage of them, say, "Hey, listen, you missed jury duty. You have a warrant for your arrest. Put money on a Visa or a green dot card, send it to me." They prey on the vulnerable, and so again, this guy wouldn't have done this to a normal, day-to-day hardworking individual that's smart enough to pick up on it. So that's what really frustrates me and takes it to a totally different level. The word vulnerable. All right. And so, again, they go after the people who are easy targets. So talk to, and this is important. If you have family members in these assisted living facilities, retirement homes, you have caregivers in and out of the house, do your research, do background checks. Listen, I was blessed to have my grandparents. Both my grandparents lived well into their mid 90s. And we had home health care in there, amazing ladies that sat with them. But we also did our due diligence on running background checks on these people before they had access to, my grandmother's purse and all this, personal information that's in there. I think it's important, family and friends of people who have loved ones in these facilities, is just to make sure that you're doing your research.
Yeah, he had help. Motherfucker had help. Ain't no fucking way. They're like, the more I'm sitting on this, the more I'm listening to both these guys talk and the little bit of evidence that we already have. If even remotely close to 10 years, he held one of his chicks captive, motherfucker had help. He had help. And just like what Mark said, whether it's directly or indirectly, nigga had help. He had help in it. In all seriousness, though, that AEW fan that kidnapped and had those 4 people, had those 4 people hostage in some angst. I mean, let me start that back over. In all seriousness, though that AEW fan that kidnapped and had those 4 people hostage is some insane shit, these are the type of people on this app that we deal with day to day. Facts. We don't know them, but they're in our mentions. Scary world out there. Yeah, and if you have not noticed this before, and hold on, let me make sure my audio is good. If you have not noticed this before, the past couple weeks have been very concerning and should have been very concerning to you, especially with some people, whether it's, I wouldn't say especially, but whether it's some people that you know, or whether it's just some people that are in your mentions, or some people that you communicate with on social media. I've seen it all. It's been a crazy couple weeks for a lot of reasons, as we all know, right? Right here on the internet, right? Even here on Rumble and YouTube. It's been crazy. It's been insane. But let me tell you something, man. It's not something that we have not seen before. We see these people with these stupid ass takes every single day, and then you ask them to back up their or back it up with facts, or you ask them to back up their opinion, or ask them why they think this, and then they want to call you names instead of actually addressing what you were originally talking about. They want to put labels on you. They want to say you're this. They want to say that just because you don't have the same fucking idea. These are the fucking weirdos. We've been saying it for a long time. And it's 100% true. But I don't know, man. I can only say that for so long, right? I can only tell you that for so long. But even Law and Crime Network sees it. How these weirdos are. That's their thumbnail. And at the beginning of the day, it was already sitting at 103,000 views. I already exited the video now, so I don't even know how many views it has now. But that's some crazy shit, man. That's some crazy shit. It's Wednesday. Now, this shit, that's some savage stuff, bro. Like this account, I don't know if you guys know who did this AEW Network. This guy is petty as shit. I knew he was going to come up with a meme super fast on that joint. Holy shit. Anyways, man. Look, I got a couple more topics, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. Now, I mentioned this one earlier. And I know you guys are probably thinking, Corn, who the fuck is Jasmine Nix? Well, I'm going to ask you guys the exact same thing. Like, I know who she is, but she's only been featured here a couple of times, whatever. But she said that she is not re-signing with WWE and NXT, and that she was actually offered a 3-year contract, but she says it wasn't going to cut it financially. So let's go ahead and get into this, because I find it very hard to believe that somebody would actually come out here and say that a 3-year contract in WWE would not cut it financially. Now, I can understand if you say, hey, maybe I'm worth more, blah, blah, whatever. Nobody knows who you are. And you already have a porn star name. So WWE is probably going to say, you know what? Go ahead. You can leave. Matter of fact, keep the name Jasmine Nix with a Y. That's right up the alley of OnlyFans. But don't take my word for it. Let's go ahead and hear it straight from the whore's mouth.
As you know, there's been things circulating, and I kind of want to just set the record straight that I am not re-signing with WWE. This was a personal decision I had to make for myself and for my future. Personally, the contract that they were offering me for the next 3 years just wasn't going to cut it for me financially, and that's okay. I kind of just...
What the fuck you got to do financially? Like, this, I don't get it. Like, You've been there. You're at NXT. You're making money. They want to sign you to a 3-year contract. This should tell you right now. And this goes back to my entire fucking point when it comes to women's wrestling nowadays. I would say wrestling in general, because you got a lot of dudes that act the same way too. They're just not running the OnlyFans. But these chicks don't love the game, bro. They don't love wrestling. They love what comes with it. They love everything but what they're supposed to fucking focus on. And I'm not saying wrestling's got to be the number one thing you love in all of life or anything like that. I'm not even saying that. But fam, to me, it sounds like you don't even like the shit. Now, maybe I could eat my own words 2 months from now and we see her all over the indies and she's actually making a name for herself. Or 2 weeks from now, you will see a post from me in the middle of the day clowning Jasmine Nix and saying, I told you so. Because you're going to see the big O and a big F beside her name. And then you're going to see how much the subscription is. And you're going to see me with a laughing emoji.
Just wanted to give a backstory of everything. I was playing professional soccer in Iceland, and then I got recruited, obviously, to WWE, which I left everything out there to come here.
This is another thing. This is going to open up the doors. And I said this way before I even had a YouTube channel. So I've been saying, so you already know I've been saying this since day one on my YouTube channel. I've been saying this ever since the NXT days, the early black and gold days, like Charlotte versus Paige fucking days. When we started to see the behind the scenes stuff with NXT and WWE and the people they started bringing in, they started going all over the world. They would take cameras to like India. There was some guy doing fucking mud wrestling that they grabbed and put in NXT. There was another guy that was playing basketball, like Raquel Rodriguez or Raquel Gonzalez, I believe, was like, it's her original name. And it might even be her real name. I don't know. But she was Raquel Gonzalez when she first got to WWE. But she actually played basketball. Big Cass played basketball in college as well. So there were a lot of guys that they grabbed. Enzo Amore was not a wrestler before NXT. Like, there's a lot of people that the first time they step in the ring is in NXT. And that's what really formed the development center, the performance center, whatever you want to call it. All of that happened. I said, yeah, this is cool and all. This is, a whole creative wrestler factory, right? Literally WWE 2K IRL. But I said this over 10 years ago when I saw this shit happening, because again, if you were watching wrestling and actually cared about wrestling and wasn't afraid to actually call shit out, then you've been saying the same thing as well. This is not going to end well, because you're going to get people to get into the business that don't normally want to or seek out to get into the business. The one thing, you can say what you want about Goldberg and all the other people, and yeah, you can say they got recruited or whatever, but at the end of the day, they wanted to do it. And they weren't paid to train. They weren't making a living showing up and doing, push-ups and suicides every day like it's a fucking NFL factory. No. You can say whatever you want, however anybody else got into the business prior to the development center. But the fact that, and I don't even know if this is Triple H's idea or whatever, but you have all these people running around for WWE now, all around the world to grab people from different avenues of life and entertainment and sports. I mean, sports is the easy one. And then they just released the whole NIL thing just a couple years ago. And now you have WWE ID badge on the indies and all this other stuff. Like it's a whole fucking system that they're running all over the world right now for NXT alone to bring in talent and then weed out all the other, not weed out all the other talent, but come in, bring in a whole bunch of talent and then weed out the weak ones, the ones that you don't think are going to be a star. And then you have this small group of them. And now you have them in the business. Now you have to teach them how to move in the business, how to curate themselves, how to make a character, do this, do that, actually wrestle. And we've actually seen some good wrestlers come of that. Now, with that being said, we've also seen people that don't know how to act in the business, especially when it comes behind the scenes, especially when it comes to fans. That's a whole nother issue we ain't got to talk about right now. But then we get the Cora Jades of the world, the Mandy Roses of the world. And now here we are in the last 4 months of 2025, and now we have the Jasmine Nix from NXT of the world. And I'm telling you guys right now, man, 2 weeks from now, we may just see OnlyFans become a thing when it comes to Jasmine Nix. Or I guess what her name is, Jade. I want to say genitals. Gentile. Jade
for this
Gentile.
opportunity, which
Part of
I'm
her
very,
role.
very grateful for. I was kind of held back a little in the beginning. I had 4 knee surgeries, so I had to recover and rebuild my knees in order to step in the ring. And as some of you know, I broke my nose. That's why I was wearing the mask. I had other injuries, concussions that kind of held me out of TV for a little bit. We'll say that there's been a lot of opportunities that I've had to turn down and pass up, but now that
Opportunities, you say, that you've passed up because of wrestling. Is one of them acting, but not really acting?
I am out of the job, I can kind of explore these opportunities more and take them more seriously. Love my Jasmine Nix fans. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and having my back for the past 3 years. It's been an amazing journey and I will miss you guys. And yeah, that is it for Jasmine Nix. So thank you guys for watching. And
Is she going to go wrestle and take over the indies? X to doubt. Are we ever going to hear Jasmine Nix's name again without the word or without the term OnlyFans? X to doubt. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Undertaker. Good old Taker, man. So I don't know if anybody's been watching Undertaker's podcast that he does, or even ever since he had the was it 6 Feet Under, where he had old dude, I think Matt, on there with him. Ever since he got rid of Matt and brought in Michelle McCool, it has been a whole thing. Now, at first, the Undertaker replaced Mickie James, or had them replace Mickie James with Michelle McCool on LFG. I don't watch the show. I've only seen clips of the show. I thought Mickie James did her thing, whatever. Like there was one little spat Mickie James had with somebody, and even I saw it and I kind of disagreed or whatever. But I'm like, if anybody's going to be able to say anything about that, or anybody's going to be able to have that take and actually be able to back it up, it is Mickie James, one of the greatest in the business. But yet, you have Mickie James replaced by Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool, who has done absolutely nothing. You're talking about a women's champion or a co-women's champion with Layla. That's what she's done. I don't know. Mickie James has faced Trish Stratus at WrestleMania. Bigger star than Michelle. People will know Mickie James before they know Michelle McCool. Let's keep it a buck. Okay? So you had her replaced by Michelle McCool on LFG. That was one thing. But then the people because you had more people watching Undertaker's podcast, he replaced, it felt like a dude's podcast. You know what I mean? Even when I was watching, I didn't catch every episode or anything like that. But once I saw the announcement that they weren't bringing Matt back and it was just going to be Undertaker and his wife, I'm like, oh, it's not going to work. This whole the whole dynamic is going to fucking change no matter what guest they have on there. She's not one of the guys. Is she hot? Yeah. Do I respect her? Absolutely. But at the same time, I got to call it out when I call it out. It was a dude's podcast. And then you bring on your wife. It's no longer a dude's podcast. Sorry, not sorry. So for the past few months, people have let it be known like, hey, we ain't fucking with the podcast without, you bringing Matt back. Because why the fuck did you get rid of Matt? And I watched the video. I watched the video that Matt did where he sat down with Maven not too long ago and talked about it. And, you know, obviously, I mean, what are you going to do when you're The Undertaker, one of the biggest stars ever in wrestling? It's like he's going to get on there and badmouth them. And yeah, he says they're still friends, they're still close, whatever. But the fact that The Undertaker got rid of you and brought on Michelle McCool, and people are already letting it be known from the jump, like, hey, this ain't working. And I've seen some clips rolling around too of her on the podcast. It's awkward. Awkward at best. There's some cringy clips I've seen of the podcast with Michelle McCool on there. I'm gonna just say that. Again, respectfully, right? But The Undertaker goes on, he says he's finally acknowledged the fan criticism. I wish Linkin Park would do that in a respectful and honest way, but they won't. Whatever. Look, this is where we're at, Undertaker says. This is the direction I wanted to take the show. Yeah, it's an awful direction. Whether you like it or don't like it, I do this. We do this for fun. And if you get entertained and be entertained, if you're not entertained, you don't like it, this is America, you get to do whatever you want. So just relax and enjoy the ride. And he says that on 6 Feet Under. Now, here's the thing with The Undertaker, man. I love this guy. Legend, Hall of Famer, blah, blah, the whole 9 yards. One of my favorites of all time. I got to be honest, man. This is not a good look because you advertise your podcast as a dude's fucking. Now, it's not like they said it's a guy's podcast or anything like that. But there's no way you change the complete. Like Mike Tyson does. Remember when Mike Tyson had the how come nobody had this fucking analogy? Mike Tyson, years ago, when he first started his hot boxing podcast, he and what's the guy's name? Eben something. I think he was a tight end for the Texans. And Eben Britton, I think it was. And I think I'm saying his name right, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That was such an amazing podcast. It really was. Those early days where they had all those different viewers and they literally be hotboxing in the studio and having great conversation. Like, I miss them type of shits. Like, now we live in a world where the Kais, Nats, and the fucking I Show Speeds of the world and the fucking Neons and Weirdo Rosses are running around taking over the internet doing dumb shit. And they call it entertainment. Whatever. But The Undertaker, what he did, he Mike Tyson does. Because Mike Tyson got rid of that co-host that he had in Eben Britton and had like a few other hosts after that or co-hosts after that, and it just never really worked out. It just never really felt the same. And then Mike started going a little more off the hands. You couldn't really understand what the fuck he was saying. Not that you could to begin with, but then you really couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. I feel like Undertaker's going down that same road, man. You should have just stuck with the one guy, the original guy that everybody loved. Everybody loved the conversations that you guys had with other wrestlers, other celebrities, famous people, successful people. It was fun. But bro, nobody wants to sit there and watch The Undertaker, first of all, out of character. People are still getting used to that, let alone on a podcast with your wife of all people. No, what can you possibly talk about that's at least somewhat interesting after like 2 episodes with your wife? Crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. We got Mike Tyson from The Undertaker. We really did. I highlighted wrong comment. Mike says, Mark says, The Undertaker sounding more and more of a sellout and being corporate. First Mickey James and then his co-podcaster friend, shaking my head. I guess money is more important to him. But he would have made more money with Matt, I think. But then again, we're talking about a podcast that's under WWE as well. I think don't they debut the podcast on WWE's channel now? I'm not too sure. Because if that's the case, then you would be right about that. But at the end of the day, when we saw Matt and he sat down with Maven and he was like, Undertaker and I are still best friends. we still talk all the time, and and no doubt, I don't think he's lying or anything. I do believe he's telling the truth, because he even shared a heartfelt story about one of the worst days of his life, where he actually called Undertaker and as like a best friend, like, yo, I need some advice. I'm having a horrible fucking day, horrible fucking time, whatever. I don't think he's lying or anything like that, but at the same time, I'm just like, you still have to feel slighted though. Because that's even worse when your friend calls up and say, hey, man, I'm going a different direction with I know we built something great here, but I'm going a different direction. And it's not even with a better fucking, I could totally understand and be like, oh yeah, better co-host. I completely get it. Especially me. Cause I know I'm sometimes I'm not even sometimes, most of the time, I'm just not everybody's fucking cup of tea. I get it. Whatever. But I can totally understand that where Undertaker's like, look, man, Glenn Jacobs, Kane is he's retiring from mayor or governor, whatever. And he's coming in and he's going to do the podcast with me, and we're going to do fucking, Brothers of Destruction podcast or some shit, right? 6 feet or 12 feet under now. I don't know. I could totally understand that. But then this dude, the way he described it, if you guys don't know, you should go to Maven's channel and watch that video, because he describes it greatly in better detail than I ever could. But he says basically Undertaker called him and told him that, hey, man, I think I'm going to bring Michelle in on this. I think it's the right idea. What in the fuck would tell the Undertaker to do a podcast with his wife instead of doing it with Matt, who he built something great with? Like, if I'm Matt, I'm like, bro, what? Because I think even Matt said in the interview, he was like, and Undertaker said that it was a good idea. Like, he just felt like the right thing to do. And I kind of feel that too. And I'm like, no fucking way you didn't. No fucking way you didn't. But I am glad that the fans are still speaking out and saying, look, Taker, we don't want Michelle. We like Michelle McCool and all. She's cool and all. No pun intended. But bring Matt back. So I do appreciate the fans saying that and still getting under Undertaker's skin, and keep doing it, man, until they bring Matt back. But again, I mean, if he doesn't want to bring the motherfucker back, then I guess he doesn't want to. It is his show at the end of the day. Or maybe it's WWE's show now. I got to go and actually double check that, because now, Mark, you got me thinking, man. Maybe it was for money, because maybe WWE thought it was more marketable. I think that's what it was. I haven't watched the interview, and it's been a couple weeks since I watched the interview. I watched it like the day it dropped. But I think that's what it was. I think that he was saying that WWE wanted it to be more marketable or some shit like that, because WWE was getting it. Fuck. You know what we should do? Can't do it tonight, but I think we're gonna watch that video, because that's actually a very good. I got to take note of that. That's a very good topic. But yeah, let me know what y'all think, man. Let's see what the comments say. When a WWE legend says enjoy the ride, just know it's about to be some bullshit. Ever since he's retired, he's been mad annoying. Anybody else feel this way? This is very funniest and truest way put. This I have no idea what that means. Ever since he stopped caring about kayfabe, he's been revealing himself as a complete douchebag. He's completely unlikable at this point. I'm so confused how this dude was considered a locker room leader for all those years. I disagree with that. Because there's plenty of stories that we've even heard as fans of Undertaker being a locker room leader and having a wrestlers court and stuff like that, which I doubt they have now. He's even talked about, which is the biggest problem that I've had, not just with wrestling, but with sports in general in this day and age, is the TikTok culture. He's come out and spoke out against that and said that these guys don't watch film. They don't watch other people's wrestling matches to learn, to get better, to get more knowledgeable, all this other stuff, to have a better match. They don't care. They want to be in a backstage doing TikTok videos, and then when it comes out to doing wrestling matches, wonder why they fucking botch so much. So I agree with Undertaker on that. I agree with him on most things, but it's just with this particular situation, because I was an avid watcher of his podcast when him and Matt was together on it. is the reason why I want to talk about this. Otherwise, obviously, I wouldn't care. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think about that. Let me see if I have any other topics worth because I wanted to talk about WrestlePalooza, but that's going to be a stream of its own. So keep your notifications open and up for that one, because I am going to be talking about that entire pay-per-view. And I'm going to be talking about this past Monday Night Raw, and possibly SmackDown as well this Friday. So I may do a pop-up live stream or drop a video or two before Sunday, but do expect a live stream Sunday evening. I will be back. And we're going to talk all things WrestlePalooza, all things that have happened after WrestlePalooza in terms of Raw and SmackDown, because we got to get ready. We got to get ready. I got notes that I've taken over the weekend after watching WrestlePalooza. And no, I didn't watch it on ESPN because I have not given ESPN my fucking money for that shit. And I'm not saying I never will or anything like that. You guys know I'm not with the whole boycott BS. But right now I'm just choosing not to give any more money to fucking Disney, especially when it comes to $30 on ESPN for a PLE. You are out of your rabbit ass mind. Period. I got in an argument with somebody earlier today on Twitter because they tried to say that Triple H has been so bad and that we tried telling you since the beginning of ages that Triple H was such a bad booker. NXT Black and Gold was horrible. It wasn't good at all. And I'm like, whoa. I'm completely down with shitting. Oh, damn, I dropped my damn mic. I did timeout. I'm completely fine with shitting on Triple H and his booking right now. I was not shitting on his booking a year ago. I wasn't shitting on his booking 5 years ago. I wasn't shitting on his booking and damn sure in NXT Black and Gold in the OG days. Hell no. You were high as hell to be saying that Triple H has always been a bad booker. Sorry, fam. Not going to work on this one because I've been watching the entire time Triple H has been in charge and everything he's been in charge of, at least to our knowledge that he's been in charge of. So, yeah, timeout on the whole NXT Black and Gold was shit because it wasn't. You could probably say that the later days were. You could probably say after, the Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano days, it got, because it did get worse. But it got worse for a lot of reasons. One of those reasons is not because of Triple H. If anything, it's because Triple H stepped down. Oh, and I already got that comment. This one. Mark says, right, I won't discredit Undertaker actually have an important presence in the locker room. Facts. Sounds good and looking forward to Sunday's live stream. I didn't watch WrestlePalooza and how the product. Yeah, the product is fucking horrible now, bro. It is but you know what? I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna not make content just because the product is bad. But I also don't want to come on here and just completely shit on every fucking thing that I watch. But it's just everything is so bad right now, man. Between movies, I was supposed to go see the Him movie, and I already knew that movie was going to be bad because one is made by Jordan Peele, but two, I mean, just look at the premise of the fucking movie and look at the year they're in, and again, Jordan Peele. That's another reason. He's two of the 4 reasons why I haven't watched that movie yet. But come to find out, the movie's horrible anyways. I don't know. I still might go see that, do a little out of theater reaction. We'll see. But movies are horrible right now. The shows, Tulsa King just now came back on. So I've been watching that, obviously. Caught up on that. Mayor of Kingstown, another Taylor Sheridan show coming back out, I think, next week. So he's going to have to, or maybe next month, I think it is. But, yeah, man, football is bad right now. It's been bad, but this year is way worse. I have to bet to even remotely get some kind of happiness while watching football. Like, that's how bad the fucking product is right now. And then there's wrestling. And we already know that goes without saying because I talk about it all the time. So, yeah. Now, I will say this. I don't know if you guys saw, before we get out of here, I don't know if you guys saw, but old dude from Black Lightning got casted as Tombstone in a new Spider-Man movie for next year, Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is some big news because it's the first time we've seen Tombstone in live action. First time we've seen Tombstone in live action, fam. Bruh, the memes have already started. So he played old dude, I forget his, Tobias Whale. He played Tobias Whale. And this is one of the very few shows of DC I actually did watch. And I actually did enjoy the first season. Or I'd say the first 75% of the season, of the first season. And then the rest of the show just went to shit. But, bro, his character, fucking hilarious. So the memes write their fucking selves. Tombstone, when he catches Miles Morales lacking, bro. Just listen to this shit.
I always say you can't trust a big lip, barrel chest, nappy-headed, bug-eyed, slew-footed Negro as far as you can throw him. I always say you can't trust a big
That's definitely gonna. I'm definitely gonna make a fucking a meme clip of that. Have that as a reaction for future live streams. 100%. 100%. There's another one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because Tobias Well was a fucking savage on that show. Like, dude was fucking, he was hilarious. Damn, let me see if I can find this shit real quick before we get out of here. By the way, while we're on this, I want to say this. This is the dumbest shit I've seen. After Io Sky's match on Monday Night Raw. I mean, no, she didn't have the match. It was Asuka. Asuka had the match. And Asuka, she spat the mist or sprayed the mist in Rhea Ripley's face. So that's where all the blue shit on Io Sky is coming from. But they ended up jumping Io Sky. So Asuka and Kairi Sane jumped Io Sky. And this is after the match. And I want you guys to pay attention to this Lisa Green person, what they say. They say, what the fuck is with the female wrestlers crying? Aren't they supposed to be tough, badass women? The divas. Even look at this, man. And I don't really give the divas that much credit. And I don't really call Trish a diva per se, because they actually wrestled. Her, Lita, and Victoria actually wrestled. And we'll get to the Hall of Fame thing too, because I want to talk about that as well. About Stephanie McMahon being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yeah. We'll get into that on Sunday. So stay tuned for that as well. But she says, this person says, the divas back in the day, like Victoria, Trish, and Lita, never bawled like the like these little girls. This right here, man. Io Sky is arguably the best wrestler, best in-ring female talent you have in all of WWE right now. And you have her acting like this, bro. And she's not the only one. It's just, why do we keep doing this shit? Why do we keep doing this shit? All right. Yeah, we don't need all that shit. Now, my biggest problem with all of this, with Io Sky crying, with and the reaction. I don't know if you guys saw the clip on Monday night where Asuka turned on her, but there was zero reaction. You got like one time you got a big boo, and that was it. It was quiet and silent for the rest of the night, for the last 5 minutes of the entire show. You talk about a situation and a segment falling flat. A betrayal falling flat. This was a perfect example. The absolute perfect example. And then just to cap it off, you have Io Sky sitting here crying like a little girl. Now, I'm not saying she's the toughest women's wrestler you have, but she damn sure is the best in-ring female talent you have on your roster. And this 1 minute, and I could only make 30 seconds into this clip because she's sitting there. Asian women be crying like they just have a weird cry, man. I don't know. They just be making weird noises even when they cry, man. It's just weird. They're hot, don't get me wrong, but they make some weird ass noises, man. But this is what we're getting from Io Sky. Instead of that badass, this is what we're getting from Asuka, instead of that badass that we had almost 10 years ago. Women's wrestling is cooked. And a telltale sign of that is if AJ Lee being the face of your women's division right now, getting the most attention from your women's division right now, isn't already a bad telltale sign, this is. I don't know, man, but we'll get into it on Sunday, man. Make sure you guys hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff, man. And I will see you guys then, if not before then. Mark says, once again, kayfabe is dead. Social media really made wrestlers today too comfortable, especially in this new era of WWE. Absolutely. It was definitely not needed for her to do all of that. In my opinion, she just needs to make herself look significantly, or she just made herself look significantly weak. Facts. And I don't know how you recover from that. Even Bayley wasn't physically crying over damage control betraying her. Facts. By the way, the whole Bayley schizophrenia thing happened as well. I'm not a fan of that either right now. I like that they're trying to do something different with her. I like the fact that they're trying to get her to go back to the huggy and all the other stuff. And now she's fighting it off with Lyra Valkyria. I get it. It's not a bad storyline, but for some reason, it's not, again, another female storyline that ain't resonating with the fans. But yet you want AJ Lee to put Seth Rollins in a sharpshooter. I ain't even trying to get pissed and go on a whole nother rant. I'm going to save that for later, man. Hit that like, that subscribe. Thank y'all for coming through and supporting your boy. Keep the noties on. I'll be back again. Hit that like. And if you want Rumble, hit that follow and a like. Subscribe. It's your boy, Corn, and I am.
Thank you, brother. I love you, brother. I appreciate it, bro.